Okay, we're going to do a Chapter 7 summary. That is the chapter that covers PPE, personal protective equipment. Obviously, this is, again, another critical component of what we do. Really, what drives the call is the chemical that we're dealing with, and that's one of the first things that we try to consider. We try to first, protect ourselves by parking away and uphill, upwind. We want to establish some control zones, take command, and then we want to identify the chemical, because the chemical is what's going to steer the incident. And the next big thing we make our decision, once we find out what chemical it is what is the level of PPE that would best protect us. Okay, so that's one of our first decisions that we actually make based off the chemical. It's very important. So in order to know what PPE to select, you have to know what kind of chemical you're dealing with, because each level of PPE is designed to protect against different types of chemicals. Okay, so, as you're going through the chapter, definitely OSHA and NIOSH, you need to know how often these suits should be checked, okay? You want to know about, some HIPAA filters. They talk about Trace MP for an acronym. That's a good acronym to know. But really, this chapter, what it really focuses on is the types of PPE. Now, they do hit penetration, permeation, and degradation in this chapter. You need to know the differences of those. You're going to see some questions about it. So, understand what that is. Okay? Then, the chapter is a little redundant. It goes over some types, and then it gives you some classes or levels of PPE. So, we're going to focus on the levels, because they're covered in both sections. So, you can kind of cruise past the first section and get to where we start off with level A. Okay? Now, if you see the picture of the guy in his red suit, that's a level A vapor protective suit. Okay? Very uncomfortable. It's basically the catch-all. Okay? And if we don't have an MSDS, or the chemical could be vaporized, it could be, in vapor form, we're going to select this. Problem with the suit is really heat emergency. That's really the problem. Now, this is a vapor protective suit, so no air is coming in. That also means that your body heat is not able to evacuate the suit. So you build up a lot of heat. During the summer, this is not very much fun to wear. You usually end up in the suit if you draw the short straw. So that's just the way it is. But that's a level A suit. So you need to know the level A suit is vapor protective. Okay? That's important. You also need to know level B. Okay, it looks like the white suit that they have. Those are actually the suits that we carry in the city of Chandler. They have different brands that are level B. They're not all white. The white ones are nice because they're very lightweight, very flexible. They're easy to move in. Whereas a level A, very rigid. It's a thicker material. It's hard to move. It's hard to see. You only have that small window that you can look out of. Level B is for splash protection. Okay, that's what it's designed for. Liquid chemicals that may splash on you. So, where the level A is very cumbersome, a level B is easier to move, but it doesn't give you the vapor protection, okay? And the difference between level B and level C is simply the respiratory component, and you need to know that. Level B has an SCBA, level C has a respirator, an air purifier, okay? Which is great for industry, because they know, hey, listen, here at Acme Products, we work with chemical X, and that's all we have here is chemical X. So we can get a respirator, just a mask, with a cartridge on it that protects you against chemical X, because we're not going to come in contact with anything else. So it's lightweight. We can walk around all day long. It's easy to work in. But for us, who might have to run into chemicals A through Z, that doesn't work. We can't have that many cartridges, so we use the SCBA. Problem with it is it weighs, 30 plus pounds, and you only have 30 minutes or so, roughly, of work time. So it's limited work time, it's heavy, it's cumbersome, it's uncomfortable, but it protects against every type of chemical. And respiratory is the most critical component to protect against. Okay, your respiratory system is the easiest to get chemical into. So it's very important that you use proper respiratory protection. So know the difference between B and C. Okay, level D is basically just a work outfit. Okay, that's like a Nomex suit, some work gloves, hard hat, eye protection, steel-toed boots. Not very good for anything. And then we have structural firefighting gear. Okay? Now, structural firefighting gear, one good thing we have is an SCBA, so it's got good respiratory protection. As far as the turnouts themselves, are limited to 0 usefulness. Okay, they absorb chemicals. They don't have splash protection. They don't have adequate vapor protection. They do have some thermal protection, so that would maybe be some limited, but basically worthless in the world of hazardous materials. Okay, so know that. So basically in this chapter, as long as you know the difference between level A, B, and C, and D, you're going to be good, and what the use of structural firefighting gear is. Towards the back, they talk about the ice-cooled system and the fluid-chilled system, which is a pretty sweet mannequin. But we don't use those. We do use, ice buckets, cooling hoods, that type of stuff to cool down afterwards. Like I said, heat emergency is the most significant danger, particularly with a level A suit. So, know the different types. Know, degradation, permeation, penetration. Know what the different types are used for, and you should be well prepared for the quiz. Good luck.